Obviously disappointed that we didn't come away and try to steal game one. But you got to give a lot of credit to Washington. I thought they did a really nice job, regardless of what defense and our disruption and trying different things to just try to get their offensive flow out of rhythm. I thought the first quarter killed us, obviously. Take away that last foul. Over the last three quarters, we outplayed them and outscored them, but we dug ourselves in a hole, and we were always trying to climb out of it. But I think they felled us a little bit there late in the second half, and as we cut it down and made it interesting. But ultimately, you got to credit their offensive execution was just outstanding when they needed it. They stepped up and made big shots out of those plays. We left some points on the board, missing some shots there as we got a little bit tired, and I need to probably stretch our bench a little bit more. But this is what the series is going to be all about. There was two really, really talented offensive teams playing tonight, and despite everything both teams were trying, it was a fun offensive game. But we'll get back to the drawing board tonight and look forward to practices and adjustments going into game two.
Curt, first question will come to the center.
Hi, Curt. How are you doing, New York Times? You know, a lot of offensive firepower tonight from your team. 8 shots, though, 12 points from Jonquel. I know we've talked in the last series about how important it was when she's been calling for the ball. I'm wondering what you saw and whether you think that needs to be a change in emphasis from her for the rest of the series.
Sure, I think we ran some things and she was unselfish and we got touches for her and she played out of it. At other times, their switching sped us up and we didn't always get the ball to her when I felt like we could. Again, we got on a roll early in the first half. Alyssa Thomas had an unbelievable first half, so we put her in a lot of actions. She, dominated some of the ball in the first half because she was playing so well. So that naturally, all of a sudden you're playing away from JJ. But we talked about going back to that, try to establish her early in the second half, at least getting her touches. But we need those shots up. They want Jasmine Thomas taking a lot of shots, and they got some of that accomplished tonight. So we just got to continue to get the ball to where we want to play through.
Row 3 to your left.
Curt, Doug Farmer, DAP. You talked about how their offensive execution down the stretch was outstanding. I mean, Elena, I think, hit 2 jumpers, and you cut it to 4 both times. How tough is it? I mean, she's the league MVP. She's obviously an unbelievable player, knowing that they can sort of get it to her and she'll probably make a shot to end a run you guys have.
Yeah, obviously a go-to player down the stretch that they can play through and make some big plays. But like Alyssa Thomas is an elite defender, and when she bodies up on 99% of the people in the league and they've picked up their dribble, she usually gets them stopped. But we all know that EDD stepped through in that last movement to the basket where she leans in and can create space and get her shot off is the only person in the world that does that. So, I'm never gonna question how hard AT fights and battles with her. I think she defends her as well as anyone. And we had success at times switching tonight and scrambling out of it. It doesn't seem like a lot of turnovers, but 14 turnovers for them. We did get at times some disruption.
Curt, standing to your right.
Hi, Curt. It's Ned.
Hi, Ned.
Happy with the defensive performance tonight? I mean, I know sometimes you guys are trying to trap, trying to double. Do you think you need to put more ball pressure on?
Yeah, it's pick your poison, right? And again, regardless when things work, they will eventually figure out counters to it. I thought in the first quarter their big lineup hurt us at times, and that big lineup's been real good to them during the stretch where Christy's been out, and they got really used to playing that way, got really efficient playing that way. So, again, you're going to have to score in this league. They're going to score. You're going to have to score in this series. They are going to score. But you look over the last 3 quarters, in the low 20s, in the teens, we'll take that. It was the 30-point first quarter that we had a real hard time digging out of that hole.
Curt, second row center.
Gabriel, you were him one-sider. Specifically defensively, Christy Tolliver was able to get to the rim a lot off picks, and just how do you stop her from getting to the rim now that she's seemingly getting back to 100%?
Yeah, and she plays with a change of pace and a change of direction, and she's herky-jerky, so she's hard to guard. If you're in switch mode now, she's an elite guard going against post players. So you have that challenge. If not, one of the things that's underrated about Washington to get Christy open is their screening. It is not as easy to get over-under screens in Washington like the success we had in the last series. They're a very, very talented screening team. Again, there's a lot of talk in this series in our locker room that we've got to be good one-on-one, and that doesn't necessarily mean one-on-one with a matchup that we would love to have. It's going to be one-on-one against mismatches or our switches, and we've got to get in a stance and be able to keep some of these guys in front of us, because it just plays into their penetrate and kick game, and they're so good at making penetrate and kick threes that if you overhelp, they're going to pick you apart that way. So we've got to sit in the stance on Christy and everybody else and try our best to keep people in front of us.
Curt, thank you.
One last one, great. First half, you're an offensive guy. What's going through your head when you look at the box score after the half? You're shooting 61%, and it's still a 13-point deficit.
What's going through my head?
Yeah.
That
I know something's going.
Yeah, that Mike and I are both pulling our hair out, and the general TV audience is going, "This is damn good basketball," that's what's going through my head. Is like this is why the two of us are here. We can make shots, we can make people, we can execute offensively, and that's going to be the challenge for both of us. All series, can we string consecutive stops together? Our transition is so important to us, and we've got to be able to get defensive stops or turn them over so we can get in transition.
Curt, this will be our last question. Second row to your right.
Hi, Curt. Alexa Filter from the Hartford Current. You went to Morgan early in the game to get her in there, and obviously later on she had that big bucket that pulled the team within 4. What were you trying to what were you trying to get out with putting her in early tonight, and how was she able to succeed in that?
Morgan's a great mover, and I thought she just allowed us to slip things, move things. We just offensively were a little bit, everything was crisper and cleaner. She's such a smart player. She's not afraid of this moment with 4 national championships in college. And then defensively, as we were in switch mode, Morgan can jump out and keep guards in front of her at times better than a traditional big. So we went unconventional, small at times, took JJ off the floor, but it really sparked us in that stretch, and really pleased for Morgan. She was a huge spark plug for us tonight.
Curt, thank you.
Thank you.